Going on Jerome's. So besides the loss Thursday against the Rams, the largest loss may be superstar left tackle Christian Darrisaw. So season-ending knee surgery, and Kevin O'Connell confirmed on Friday afternoon that it's an ACL and MCL. So it's going to be a long road to recovery for the Vikings superstar left tackle. Just really sucks, but the games are still going to be rolling on. Next man up mentality. And Will Raggett, Sports Illustrated, Kevin O'Connell says, I do think there are multiple options on the table for what the Vikings could do at left tackle moving forward. So that would include in-house. That would include potential free agents, potential trades as the deadline looms. And you know that Kwesi likes to make moves. And yeah, the pass rushing defensive tackle, cornerback certainly on the table. Guard? But now left tackle could be out there as well. So we're going to run through 10 options for the Vikings at left tackle, including in-house, one-year Band-Aids, as well as long-term plays as well. Now, a lot of people throw out the notion, well, flip Brian O'Neill to left tackle. I know that O'Neill played left tackle at Pitt, and it has been an idea that's been floated out over the last couple of years, but nah. Like, Brian O'Neill has established himself as one of the most dominant right tackles in the game. Don't mess with the good thing, right? So number one, so I actually like the Blake Brandel idea. Now, having Brandel move out to left tackle, which he has played throughout his college career at Oregon State. He was a 6th round pick in 2020. Played 273 snaps at left tackle in 2022, including 3 starts when Darrisaw was out with a concussion. And now some of those games were not so great, but Brandel is certainly a different player these last 2 years, and he and Darrisaw on that left side, I mean, they're pretty damn good, and a major reason why the Vikings run game was good to go. And also, it would allow you to keep Dalton Risner at his normal left guard spot, where he's played throughout his entire NFL career during the regular season. But it would leave Ed Ingram still remaining on the offensive line. So I don't know, man. Also, the one-for-one replacement would be veteran David Quisenberry. Has been the Viking swing tackle for the last 2 years. He has filled in competently on both sides for Darrisaw and O'Neill over the last 2 years. And he did come in and play 25 snaps against the Rams, did allow 2 pressures but 0 sacks. And, competent veteran, certainly. But do the Vikings roll the dice to try and find something better? Certainly a possibility. And also, Quisenberry is 34 years old. Walter Rouse, the rookie day 3 selection coming out of Oklahoma by way of Stanford. Now, he did look good given limited reps in preseason as well as in training camp. 5-year starter at Stanford and Oklahoma, all at left tackle. So that would be huge for him. And also, I do think that they do see Rouse as a future swing backup. So potentially getting him some reps. Also, I mean, he's 6'7", 3 1/4. Like, he's got size. And also, I do think that he and Brandel could be some nice on that left side in terms of run blocking. And if you do see this guy as a big part of the future, I understand, like, left tackle, especially for a guy like Sam Darnold, it's going to be huge, but do you see what Rouse has so you can make a determination of what to do moving forward? It's a possibility. Outside candidates, so 1-year Band-Aids. Number 1 would be free agent DJ Humphries. Now, it's great because you wouldn't have to give up draft capital, although, well, since the Vikings are pretty bereft of draft capital, I'm not looking to break the bank on any of these guys except for, we'll get to, right? So cracking that 1st-round pick. But Humphries is a free agent. He's 30 years young. Former Cardinals 1st-rounder from back in the day, and team captain. Very competent, very solid left tackle. Parted ways due to cap over the last offseason. Did visit with the Giants since they just lost Andrew Thomas as well. But could the Vikings swoop in? Offer just a little bit extra, and Humphries isn't going to break the bank, so that's what would be appealing about him. And although by the time you watch this, like, maybe the Giants are just like up their offers, like, now let him get the Vikings. Number 5, Cam Robinson, the Jaguars. So this one's been floated up because Jacksonville potentially could be in sell mode. And Robinson is 29. He's in the final year of his contract extension. He's making a $16.25 million base this year. And also, he wouldn't cost a ton. I don't think we're looking at the 1st-rounder here. Maybe we are cracking 2026 draft picks. But also, this would be a spot where obviously it's a 1-year Band-Aid where he's a free agent in 2025. He would walk. Vikings could get a comp pick, although they're probably going to be huge free agent spenders, so that could be a moot point. So I don't know. That one would be like uber aggressive. Same thing with Jack Conklin. The Browns will be a 1-year deal. He's a free agent in 2025, a $4.5 million base this season. And Conklin has left tackle and right tackle experience during his time in the league. Long-term plays. So these are certainly more appealing to me because, I mean, the 1-year Band-Aids would cost you draft capital as well as cap space, but Darrisaw being back next year is no muss, no fuss. But also, I mean, Elijah Vera Tucker. Now, I would be fine cracking into that first-round pick for AVT. Loved him in the draft in 2021. Ironically, the Vikings were at pick number 14 in the draft that year. They made a deal with the Jets to move down and eventually got Darrisaw. And with the Jets, they took AVT out of USC. He's 25. High-end right guard, so that's a long-term play there. 76.2 PFF pass blocking grade this season. He does have a $15.3 million fifth-year option, and he does have left tackle experience from his time at USC, but isn't your prototypical left tackle, kind of shortish arms. But in terms of getting the best 5 possible offensive linemen on the field, as well as a guy that you can get into your system, get acclimated, and have him be your long-term starting right guard, I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of like, or hell, just trade for AVT and then start Rouse or Brandel at left tackle and then just go from there. Next up, number 8, Ezra Cleveland. Who says that you can't come home? So Ezra, who was traded last midseason, and then Dalton Reiser came in but left guard, signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Jaguars, and frankly, he's become a tier 1 left guard. Now, he played a ton of left tackle at Boise State. Was a Viking second-round pick in 2020, and he was seen as potentially the future left tackle for the Vikings. His rookie year got some experience at left guard and right guard, but then the Vikings drafted Darrisaw in 2021, and respect. I mean, Ezra obviously wanted to play some left tackle, but he set aside the ego for the good of the team and carved out a niche and has become a pretty damn good guard. And if the Jaguars are having a fire sale, come on back. Come on back, man. So you could play left tackle this season, keep Brandel at left guard, and then since Ezra does have experience at right guard, potentially move him next season to replace Ed Ingram. So left to right, you would have Darrisaw back, Blake Brandel, center TBD, and then Ezra at right guard, Brian O'Neill right tackle. All right, so that's one option. Number 9, Michael Onwenu. So I love Mike Onwenu coming in from the Patriots. This will be more of a long-term play at right guard. Now, he doesn't have left tackle experience in the NFL, which is the issue. Does have it at Michigan, but also he has played a substantial amount of right tackle as well. So flippy. I don't know, but it is in the midst of a 3-year, $57 million deal, and like AVT would likely have to crack that first-round pick. I don't think that Ezra would escalate to the first round pick territory, but lastly, it's more of a depth play. So Wheeler Walker Little Jr., the pride of Stanford, he came in as a second rounder in 2021. He's 6'7", 3.25, and this is a spot where if the Jaguars are going to keep Cam Robinson, then potentially grabbing Walker would make some sense in this spot. Does have some guard experience, but is probably better suited to be a swing tackle, and also you wouldn't break the bank in terms of draft capital. But I don't know, in terms of preference, so Quisenberry is a safe route, and it has the fewest moving parts. Rouse is a wild card, although I do like his potential long term, but I mean, if the Vikings are still in the midst of this fight, which they are at 5-2, do you just roll the dice with a rookie that you hope is good? Brandel, I mean, does have a track record at left tackle. Wasn't great in 2022, but it would allow you to put Reisner in at left guard, his spot where he's most acquainted with. But I don't know. Humphreys makes sense. If I had to make a top 3 of best options in terms of outside of in-house options, I would go all in on AVT. Damn the torpedoes. Onwenu's probably unlikely, but that's fine. But I would go all in on AVT. I would sign Humphreys, and then I would go after Ezra. And then absent that, like a small deal for Cam Robinson as a 1-year option. So we'll see. Anyways, obviously it sucks. Darrisaw is gone, but got to make the best of a bad situation. The games are still going to be played, and next man up. But your thoughts are thoughts. Left tackle options for the Vikings. Let us know. Comment section, you know what to do. Skull production value.